Mr. President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all courtesies observed and greetings to one and all. I trust that you and your loved ones are safe and well during these trying times. I'd like to put my words to you today within the context of the times in which we are living. In his State of the Planet address delivered at Columbia University in New York last December, the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said humanity is waging a suicidal war upon nature. He reported that 1 million species are at risk of extinction and that ecosystems are disappearing before our eyes. A year earlier at the climate COP in Madrid, he had warned that 3 major reports of the IPCC confirm we are knowingly destroying the life support systems of our planet. And so this is the context of our times, the years in which we all became aware of the jeopardy into which we are casting our children and theirs if we continue with this war against nature. This is the time of choice, the time when we decide whether we're actually willing to change our ways. Before it's too late and that hour is near, surely we must make peace with nature. A major party at the peace table, of course, has to be the ocean. Covering 70% of the Earth's surface and hosting the majority of life on the planet, the ocean's health is currently in decline. With the ocean producing over 50% of the oxygen of our biosphere, without doubt its health is an existential matter for us all. And if we diagnose the elements of that decline in health, we find that humankind's overexploitation of the ocean's resources is one of the critical causes. FAO reports that while global marine fish landings have remained relatively stable at around 90 million tons since 1995, the sustainability of world fisheries resources has continued to decline. FAO's Sophia report, issued last year, showed the proportion of fish stocks within biologically sustainable levels decreased from 90% in 1974 to 65.8% in 2017. We can take a degree of encouragement from the fact that compared to the situation prior to SDG 14's adoption in 2015, we now observe a flourishing interest in ocean issues around the world. And we can see that progress is tangible in ocean literacy, with greater awareness of the ocean's problems that require solutions. And we're able to report that the coverage of marine protected areas is growing steadily, as is scientific knowledge of the ocean. It's also heartening to recognize that 97 countries have now signed the FAO Agreement on Port States Measures, the first binding international agreement on ending illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. But truth be told, how can we claim anything near success when a third of assessed global fish stocks are being overfished, when we have dumped around 150 million metric tons of plastic waste and microplastics and discarded fishing gear into the ocean, and the rates of ocean acidification and deoxygenation and warming continue to head in the wrong direction? Ladies and gentlemen, we have much work to do. I've painted you this picture because in the work ahead, along with innovations in stock assessment and traceability, transparency in the fisheries industry is absolutely essential if we are to obtain the sustainability we seek. It is thus that today's launch forum for the first Seychelles report to the Fisheries Transparency Initiative assumes such great importance. SDG 14.7 calls for an increase in the economic benefits to small island developing states and least developed countries from the sustainable use of marine resources. To attain this target, effective fisheries management, support, and transparent government initiatives, better access to information, and the implementation of new technologies are critical to increasing the contribution of sustainable fisheries to GDP, particularly in countries where fisheries are central for local economies and food security. Sustainable fisheries worldwide needs transparency. So I turn again to today's submission of the Seychelles report to the Fisheries Transparency Initiative as a step in the right direction, well worthy of global attention. I'll conclude my remarks now, but not before thanking you, the leadership of Seychelles, past and present, and conveying my respect and gratitude to the government and people of Seychelles for the outstanding example that you have set in the implementation of marine protected areas, blue finance, and the sustainable blue economy. These are vital components of SDG 14, our universally agreed goal of conserving and sustainably using the ocean's resources. An admiring world looks to you for further inspiration and good practice in the direction of SDG 14's attainment. Mr. President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for the honor of addressing you at today's event.